Pat, when we asked Kerr about what changed in the third quarter, he said there was an attitude adjustment. Obviously, you don't have Steph. At some point, I'm sure you found out you were going to have Jimmy in the second half. Was there discussion? Did it just click? What happened there in the third quarter?
Yeah, I think we picked up our pace against a team like that. If you let them get set in the half-court defense, you've got 5 guys almost at all times that are out there that can defend. And so for us, it was about getting a little bit more organized offensively, but ultimately pushing the pace and not relying on really a first action to get us a bucket. That's a defense you've got to move side to side at least 2 times to be able to attack the paint. They're long. They swarm the paint when you get in there. And so for us, we've got to really commit to moving the ball side to side and just trusting each other.
What's the key to pushing pace but also limiting turnovers while you're playing fast?
Yeah, spacing. Obviously, in transition, you want to get wide, run wide. I think the thing that was really great for us about the pace was that they get cross-matched. You've got some guys that they want to get on individual players, and so for us, it's really tough to match up in the half court. And so if you push that pace, you have the spacing that you want. Their defense gets a little bit lost at times. So they're elite defensively. You've got to catch them in other ways. You can't rely on half court offense night in and night out to beat them.
How often you work on your post-up game?
All the time. Yeah, I feel like I can pass really well out of it. I want that one back at the end. Just missed it right over the top of Joe there. But it's something that I grew up doing with my brother. You kick the shit out of each other enough. You play enough post basketball in the driveway.
Pat, obviously everything can change without Steph being out there. But if you guys are missing Steph and Jimmy, what do you think you have to tighten up the most on this trip?
Definitely can't turn the ball over. Jimmy's elite at taking care of the rock. For us, I think we're going to have to be an elite pace team. With Jimmy, we tend to slow it down a bit. We won't have the luxury of playing through him in the half court, and so like we talked about tonight in the second half, we had to generate some easy looks for ourselves. That starts with getting the ball out, getting stops. I felt like we finally got some stops together, got rebounds. It just makes it a little bit easier on your offense when you're able to get stops, run, and generate some easy looks for yourself.
Pat, how much do you feel like you progressed as a shooter from last year compared to this season?
Well, night and day. Last year for me, I was an energy guy through and through. We're down 15, down 20. Coach called my number and get in there, try to change the energy. This year he's given me the opportunity to come in, operate in the ball screens a little bit more, create plays for others. And so, you just get a little bit more comfort when you can go out there and you have the freedom to miss a couple and you're not going to get yanked. So last year for me, every year has been, kind of a stepping stone. Last year for me was just an opportunity to come in, try to change the energy. Like I said, when we had some down nights this year, I've had an opportunity to get up and down a little bit more, have a little bit more comfort out there.
From your vantage point, how impressive was it to see Seth come out and look so comfortable after missing the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, it's in his blood. He's always been a shooter, man. So, he's got the green light to shoot it from anywhere on the floor, just like his brother. We have full confidence it's going in. We were just catching up after. I said, it has to feel good. I know that feeling too. Getting some DNPs and sitting out, there's no better feeling than being able to get to lace them up and get out there and get after it.
You guys make your run with those guard-heavy lineups. What's the difference between playing with these guard-heavy lineups compared to something more traditional?
Yeah, if you look across the league, pace is up like crazy, and so I think there will be some pushback on the guard-heavy lineups. But the game has evolved so much. I don't know if there's really a big out there for them. Cameron Williams was playing the floor, but he spaces the floor. So, you can say there's guard-heavy lineups. You just have to figure out how to capitalize, take advantage of it in both the half court on offense and defense. We've always been pretty guard-heavy here. And quite frankly, Tracy's banged up. QP's a stretch 5, Al's out. So what other big are we going to put out there right now, So asking a lot of Dre. I think we'd like to get healthy first and foremost, and then we'll figure that out.
Steve Kerr was saying as he considers who to play, he has to remember that you're a two-way player. There's a limit on how many games he has you for the season. What do you think about that as far as what you want for the season or what you want for your career, knowing at the moment there's a cap?
Yeah, it's tough. Just compete every night that I'm out there. I'll let them handle that. That's something the front office and I will have conversations about. I can only control day to day right now. So I feel like I've shown that I can play at this level at a really high level, impact winning. And so ultimately I'll let them make that decision when the time comes. But yeah, we will have to monitor it and figure that out. Good.
Draymond, what did you see and feel happened in that third quarter that was so different, obviously, than what happened the first half?
I think we just played with more force on both sides of the ball. We moved the ball offensively, got downhill, and you're getting kickouts, which allows for offensive rebound opportunities. So just play with a lot more force second half.
Draymond, do you take any moral victory from the game?
No. Nope.
When you study the league and you obviously know how good teams are, how good is that team over there?
They're a really good team. That's why they are champions with an opportunity to repeat, and they sit here at 21-1. Great team. But there ain't no moral victories.
They're what?
We're still 11-11, so we didn't get a win.
Draymond, we were talking about it last week. Obviously, everything changes without Steph. If you're missing Steph and Jimmy on this trip, what do you feel like you guys have to focus on or tighten up the most?
Got to be great defensively because you're missing a lot of points and gravity on the offensive end. Can't turn the ball over. We got to play with high energy and get a lot of offensive rebounds. Create second chance points, limit transition opportunities.
Played most of the second half with 5 fouls. How does your approach change when you're in foul trouble like that?
Just not to foul, but I'm still going to cover all that I can. But just do it with clean hands and not put the referees in a position to take it, do what they do.
How would you quantify Pat Spencer's growth during his time with the program here?
He's continued to get better and better. Pat just has a bravado about him, though. A sense of pride that he plays with every night, every time he steps on the floor. But his skill level has gone up. His mid-range, his shooting. I think he's just got more and more confident. When he's out there, he looks to take control and get guys in position. And that's, it puts us in a good position. He was great tonight.
We all know what Seth Curry can do. What is it? He hasn't practiced much. He hadn't played at all this season. And to come in and just fire up the shots he put, in obviously limited action, but important minutes out there.
Very important. Just to add that level of shooting. We know what he's led the league in three-point percentage multiple times. And at one point, I know he was the career leader. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but I know he was for quite a while. So just to have, to be able to add Seth and, him come out and get going the way he did tonight, was great for us. But, the one thing we know he can do and we expect him to do is shoot the ball. So it's on us to make sure we're getting him looks.
After you guys made that comeback, OKC made like an 18-5 run to close the game. What sort of happened in that stretch to?
We missed a couple shots. I think we turned a couple over, but we gave up a few threes in that run. We gave up the open one to Isaiah Joe, and that was my fault. I called the double team on Shea to get the ball out of Shea's hand, and it was so random. That I don't think the guys were ready for the proper rotation. So, if I'm going to call that there for the double team, for guys to go double, and I see the guys and I make that last rotation, I need to make all effort that I can to go from that other block and get there, at least try to get a contest. So, I think that one was the killer more than anything.
Draymond, what did you learn about this group in that second half? You know, you didn't have Jimmy, you didn't have Steph, and so many different guys contributed in different ways and you know, made quite a game out of it.
I didn't learn much, but I hope our guys learned that if, you know, we play hard, can compete with anybody. You know, whether Jimmy's out there or Steph out there or not, it's going to be much tougher. Margin for error is a lot less. But, you know, you give yourself a chance, and that's all you can ask for. So I hope that's what we collectively learned.
Draymond, your family is about to grow. What is it like going on the road knowing something like really big and important is on the horizon?
Sucks. Pretty shitty, if I'm honest. But nonetheless, this is my job. I love to do my job, so. But it's terrible, if I'm honest. It's not the first time I've been in this position, though. But my wife does a great job. She's strong. You know, I'll do all I can to get back here if I need to. But you know, it's been tough. Just with our schedule, we've been gone so much, so I haven't seen my family much over the last month, really. You know, so try to cherish the moments we do get. But yeah, it's fun. They keep me on my toes. Yeah, that's a late one too. But that's why they were here so late, because about to be gone again, and then it's just so much going on. So I was happy they was here.
Hello, Draymond. Talk about your kids. What do you want to show your kids tonight, especially the game, compete the championship team?
Just try to show them what I always do, that you know, you must work hard. That's a non-negotiable. If you're competing, you got to compete at the highest level. And you know, no matter what, you always do what you got to do to try to win, and whatever it is in life that you're doing.
Dre, OKC 21-1. I mean, you talked about how much you respect them. I know it might be a little early for this, but the chatter is going to start about can they get to where you guys were a few years back, and you know what great teams look like. Could you see them getting to that level?
It's hard, man, but I do think they're capable. You just need so many things to go right, though. You know, health, which they kind of plow right through health. It really don't matter, it seems. You need a lot of breaks, though, to go your way. But they're on the right track. And like I said, they're more than capable. I think 73 wins took some years off my life. It's hard. But like I said, they're capable of a lot.
How cool is it having your kid down there on the bench tonight? Does that change anything for you, or just it seemed like you did a great job getting you guys towels and all that during the game? Yeah,
it's cool. If anything, it makes me shut my mouth on the bench if I was going to say something. You know, it keeps me in check. I know he's watching. But it was cool. He came up to me after the game like, can you introduce me to Chet Holmgren? You know, so I went and introduced him to Chet. Chet was nice. I really appreciate that. But, you know, like I said, anytime you give them those experiences that, quite honestly, money can't buy, I'm always forever grateful.
We've been talking about when DeAnthony is back, that will change things. You don't want to overstate it, but...
No, don't put that pressure on him. We got to play better.
But, okay, what does DeAnthony Melton change about things when he's back?
I think, you know, we know he shoots the ball at a very high clip. He's a really good defender. He's a great secondary ball handler for us, you know, in his time with us. But like I said, I don't want to put a bunch of pressure on him. You know, I think, I've never said this, but I think Dennis Schroeder was probably put in one of the worst positions a player can be put in. It's not that Dennis Schroeder couldn't work here, but we were so desperate that it was almost like everyone expected him to come in and be the savior, so he never got a fair shot. And in turn, then he got traded, and the rest is history. But here in San Francisco, we never truly got to see the player that Dennis Schroeder really is, because there was just so much thrown at him that, if I'm honest, it wasn't quite right, but it's just what it was. And it wasn't like it was one person saying, hey, like, it was everybody. Like, there's a standard here to win. And when you're not doing that, everybody's looking for that next thing to make that happen. And so I said all of that to say I don't want to see that happen to Milt, where, hey, the guy's coming back off an ACL injury. That takes time. Even once he get back out there, you got to get a rhythm. You got to get unafraid. Like, there's just so much that has to go on in that process of returning back to the player that you are, that I don't want to see him get thrown in this fire of like, oh, man, he got to save the day and it's on him. Like, no, that's unfair to him. And his salary doesn't say that he should be the guy that does that. What he should be is the guy that comes and contributes in the way that he can. And we have to be patient with that. And all of us around him got to do what we have to do in order to help this team win, so that type of pressure isn't on him.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No doubt. Ooh.
Seth, how'd that feel to have the warm ovation and get out there and contribute right away and just get right in the flow?
Felt good. Felt good. I mean, I've been waiting to get on this floor for a while now, and the fans showed me a lot of love when I stepped on the floor, and it felt good to get out there and make my first shot, kind of ease the pressure a little bit, and then just from there I'm just playing basketball, so trying to get out there and help the team play well and get a win, and unfortunately we didn't do that, but there's some positive stuff out there from everybody.
You hadn't played in an NBA game in a long time, since last April. What was it like just stepping on the court for the first time, and did it take any adjusting?
It felt normal, felt natural. I was a little nervous. I didn't know how it would feel when I got out there. Just like I said, it ain't probably been 7-8 months since I played a game. But like I said, once I got up and down a couple of times, it was basketball, and I mean nothing new. Team, we found a way to play offensively that would help everybody out, and especially without Jimmy out there, we figured some stuff out to get some good offense, some good shots, and we just couldn't close it out tonight.
Seth, what can you say about Pat Spencer's game tonight? And from your vantage point, first time playing with him, is it surprising that he's a two-way player still?
He's a basketball player, man. He's one of those guys, you throw him out there, he looks different when he touches the floor. I was saying some stuff this last year, when he gets out the floor, it looks different from everybody else on the roster as far as he's a basketball player. He puts the ball on the floor. He can do a little bit of everything. So me and him, we had a nice little flow out there, driving, kicking, being aggressive, and it's good to see him get out there and get some extended minutes and play good basketball.
You make that run when Buddy, Pat, QP, and Kuminga are in there. What was sort of working in that run that got the offense flowing?
I thought everybody was a weapon. The ball was moving fast. We were playing with pace in the half court. Like, we were moving the ball, drive, swing. JK was able to point out some matchups he wanted. I was able to come up there and screen and slip for him. And he was getting downhill and kicking. And I think everybody who touched the ball was aggressive attacking the gap. So I feel like we found something in that second half that could help us over these next couple games.
It looked like you had some looks where you were open on the perimeter. Do you feel like there's meat on the bone for you to score even more?
I mean, we're just getting used to playing with each other. I haven't played with any of those guys in a live action ever. So I mean, the high IQ guys Draymond, GP, even Pat. I mean, they know my game. They see me play enough where they know where to give me the ball and where I like to be aggressive from. So they were finding me in that sense. But I mean, like I said, it was good because everybody was being aggressive and looking for their shots, and they found me a couple times. So I feel like we're gonna get better over the next couple games playing as a unit and hopefully get some wins until the main guys get back.
What would you say stood out making your Warriors debut compared to debuts you've made with other teams throughout your career?
The energy in the building was good. The energy, I mean, it's tough coming into your first game, playing against the defending champs who have a brand of basketball. They know what they're doing every night, and we're figuring stuff out. It's my first game with this team, but like I said, in that second half, we play good basketball. So for me, I feel like I'm a basketball player. When I get out there on the floor, I can figure out what the team needs. I can give them what they want. And tonight I had to just be aggressive, looking for my shot, putting it on the floor. I made a couple mistakes defensively just because I don't know the coverages, and I was in the wrong spot a couple times. But I'm gonna get better at that. And then everybody, the main thing was everybody contributed tonight, which was good.
That it? Steve Kerr has delivered a worrying update on Jimmy Butler's injury status, and for a battered Golden State Warriors squad, this might be the last thing they needed. With Stephen Curry already sidelined, the Warriors are navigating a rough stretch at a moment when they can least afford setbacks. Draymond Green is also reportedly playing through pain, leaving the bulk of the responsibility on Jimmy Butler's shoulders. But Dub Nation may now be bracing for yet another blow, this time involving their newest leader. Butler took a nasty fall in the Warriors' recent matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans. Midway through the second quarter, he crashed to the hardwood after attempting an alley-oop while tightly contested by Micah Peavy. He tried to get up right away, but the pain was written all over his face. He limped noticeably as he made his way back to his feet. Despite the scare, Butler pushed through and delivered a stellar performance. 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists. His effort was crucial in Golden State's 104-96 win over the Pelicans, a much-needed victory for a team already fighting through adversity. But the real concern came after the game, when Steve Kerr addressed Butler's condition. And his update didn't exactly calm anyone's nerves. "I'm sure he's going to be sore tomorrow," Kerr told reporters. "I asked him when it happened, what hurts? And he said, everything." Kerr tried to lighten the mood with a joke, adding, "I told him, same here. I'm 60, everything hurts on me too." He praised Butler's toughness and his impact on the win, but avoided offering specifics about the severity of the injury. Fortunately for Golden State, the team has a few days without games, giving Butler some valuable time to recover. Still, the worst-case scenario looms large, losing both Butler and Curry at the same time. For a Warriors team that's already had an up-and-down start to the season, that possibility could turn a challenging stretch into a crisis. But the conversation around Butler's fall didn't end with Kerr's cautious remarks. Within hours, analysts across the league began weighing in, highlighting how precarious Golden State's situation has become. With Curry already unavailable and Green far from full strength, the Warriors have relied heavily on Butler's physicality, leadership, and ability to stabilize the offense when things start to unravel. Former players on national panels noted that Butler's workload has quietly increased since Curry went down, especially in late-game situations where Golden State has struggled all season. The concern now is whether the team has unintentionally overextended him, a risk that becomes even greater given Butler's age and the demanding style of play he's known for. Internally, the Warriors are said to be monitoring Butler closely, but no formal evaluation has yet been shared with the public. Team staff emphasized that the next 48 hours will be critical in determining whether the veteran forward will be available for their upcoming stretch, which includes tough matchups against teams known for their physical play. The possibility of missing both Curry and Butler simultaneously has also raised questions about Golden State's depth. Players like Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga may be pushed into larger roles earlier than expected, while Kerr may need to adjust the team's offensive structure to compensate for the absence of its primary shot creators. Around the league, rival coaches have quietly expressed sympathy, but also acknowledged that this is the kind of stretch that tests a franchise's resilience. The Warriors have long been known for overcoming adversity, but the cumulative toll of injuries this season has forced the organization to confront its limits in ways it hasn't experienced in years. Front office conversations have reportedly turned toward contingency planning as well, exploring short-term adjustments rather than major moves. Still, the uncertainty around Butler's availability has accelerated discussions that were initially expected to unfold later in the season. For now, the Warriors can only wait. Butler's determination to play through pain is well documented, but the franchise knows that pushing him too quickly could create a far larger problem down the line. The next update from the team's medical staff may determine whether Golden State can stabilize its season, or whether the challenges ahead will be even steeper than anyone anticipated. Kevin Looney has opened up about how he hopes to be remembered by the Golden State Warriors following his emotional return to the Bay. Before Saturday night's matchup between the Warriors and the New Orleans Pelicans, Looney was greeted with a warm tribute from the organization, a moment that clearly meant as much to him as it did to the franchise honoring him. For nearly a decade, Looney was woven into the fabric of the Warriors' identity. Drafted 30th overall in 2015, he became a key pillar in Golden State's championship runs in 2017, 2018, and 2022. Warriors fans still speak of him with admiration, viewing him as a true Bay Area legend. After 10 seasons with the organization, his playing time declined during the 2024-25 campaign, leading to his departure in the 2025 offseason. Looney signed a 2-year deal with the New Orleans Pelicans, reuniting with former Warrior Jordan Poole and beginning a new chapter in his career. Even so, the love from Golden State's fan base and staff never faded. His Pelicans team, considered an underdog, fell 104-96 to the Warriors, and Looney played just 10 minutes, but the night was far more about recognition than box scores. For Looney, his decade with the franchise still carries deep meaning. He was never the flashiest player, never the guy chasing headlines or gaudy stats. Instead, he earned respect by embracing the dirty work, fighting for rebounds, diving for loose balls, and executing the screen-heavy, detail-oriented offense Steve Kerr built. He became the Warriors' anchor in ways that rarely appear on highlight reels, but always mattered in winning moments. His return to Chase Center came with a heartfelt tribute. The Warriors held a press event and aired a commemorative video celebrating his contributions, a gesture that visibly touched Looney, who reflected on what he hopes his legacy in Golden State will be. "So many memories come back from my time here," Looney said before tip-off. "I just want to be remembered as a tough guy. Someone who showed up every night. A guy who brought his hard hat and never complained. Whatever they asked me to do, I tried to give everything I had. That's how I hope people remember me." For many in the Warriors' orbit, Looney will always represent the standard for the center position in their system. Over the years, Golden State has cycled through big men, but Looney's reliability, discipline, and basketball IQ made him a constant presence. His role eventually shrank, particularly during the 2024-25 season, as Quinton Post emerged as a key contributor and the team shifted to a rotation featuring Post, Tracy Jackson-Davis, and veteran Al Horford. The Warriors are satisfied with their current group, but there's an undeniable difference in energy and consistency compared to the Looney era, something that reminds fans how vital he truly was. Looney's journey with the Pelicans has been eventful. He suffered an injury shortly after joining the team, but he is healthy now and carving out a steady role behind standout rookie Derek Queen. While no longer a starter, he continues to bring the same effort and professionalism that defined his decade in Golden State. And if Saturday night proved anything, it's that the Warriors and their fans will always remember Kevin Looney exactly the way he hoped, as a Warrior in every sense of the word. Looney's departure, while handled with professionalism on all sides, has also sparked conversations among Warriors insiders about how the franchise manages long-tenured role players. Many within the organization acknowledge that phasing out Looney was one of the tougher decisions of the past few years, especially given his durability, team-first mentality, and strong presence in the locker room. Former teammates have openly expressed how much Looney meant to the group, both on and off the floor. Several players commented after the game that his voice was often one of the most respected during film sessions and team meetings. He was known as someone who understood Kerr's system as well as any player in the Steph, Klay, Draymond era, and his ability to communicate defensive coverages and offensive spacing helped younger teammates develop more quickly. This is part of why his return resonated so deeply with the fan base. Many Warriors supporters see Looney as a bridge between the dynasty's peak years and the transitional phase the team is currently navigating. His consistency during volatile stretches of injuries, roster changes, and playoff battles created a sense of stability that is harder to define now that he's gone. For the Pelicans, Looney's veteran presence has been a welcome addition to a roster that leans heavily on youth and athleticism. Coaches have praised his professionalism and his willingness to mentor Derek Queen, who has quickly become one of the most promising young centers in the league. Although Looney's minutes remain limited, his influence behind the scenes has reportedly made an impact on the Pelicans' development culture. Around the league, Looney's reception in Golden State has sparked renewed appreciation for players whose value extends beyond traditional star metrics. Analysts on national platforms pointed out that Looney embodies a type of player every championship team needs, someone who sacrifices touches, embraces a physically demanding role, and stays ready regardless of shifting rotations or roster priorities. Even executives from other franchises commented privately that Looney's recognition was well-deserved, a reminder that longevity, loyalty, and consistency still matter in a league increasingly defined by trades and rapid roster turnover. Golden State, meanwhile, continues to adjust to life without one of its most dependable contributors. While the center rotation has stabilized with Post, Jackson Davis, and Horford, Kerr has acknowledged that Looney's combination of timing, physicality, and instincts cannot be replicated overnight. Much of the responsibility now falls on Post to maintain the defensive discipline and screening accuracy that Looney perfected over the years. As the season progresses, Warriors fans may find themselves comparing the current frontcourt's chemistry to the standard Looney set through his decade of service. And judging by the heartfelt ovation he received upon his return, that standard remains fresh in the memories of everyone at Chase Center.